Hey, what's up guys? Carolina here. Today it's June 5th and today we were supposed to get on a plane. Actually, right now we should be on a plane across the Atlantic Ocean on our way to London, England. But yeah, what happened is that our airline that we were scheduled to fly with, which is in this case British Airways, which I thought was a very serious airline with a very good service, but honestly, how many big companies out there still provide a good service? I don't know. The thing is, they canceled our flight with less than 24-hour notice. And as you can imagine, yesterday I was checking in and like a few minutes after I checked in, I get an email saying the flight had been cancelled. So that was not nice. The next bad thing that happened was that I immediately went to their website to see if there was a hotline or someplace where I could talk to a human being and get a, an explanation and perhaps a solution so that we could get on the next flight. And their hotline only works from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. And this happened at 6:06 p.m. So you can imagine how delighted I was with the service. I mean, how can airlines not have a 24-hour hotline where you can call? And I don't know if hotline is not the right name. I don't know why I keep saying it. Customer service phone number where we can call them at any time. Because guess what? Planes flight every minute of every day at all times, not Monday to Friday 9 to 6. And flights get cancelled also at any time during the day. So anyway, I go on Twitter, and this is why I love Twitter so much, because I go on Twitter and I notice that their Twitter works 24/7. I wonder if they knew that phones could also work 24/7. That's right. So I go on Twitter and I talk to them as politely as I possibly could at that point, because we were supposed to be in Prague tomorrow and we have never been to Prague. And so we only had like 3 days in Prague, which now it's gonna be 2 days in Prague. And we've never seen the city before. We had a hotel reservation that we cannot cancel. And so, yeah. So I contact them and then they tell me that I have to contact Iberia because I booked the flight through Iberia's website and the flight is operated by them. But even though they canceled the flight, Iberia had to provide a solution. And it was really confusing. I call Iberia. I tweet Iberia actually. I tweeted them, and then finally Iberia gives me a phone number that I could call 24 hours. Luckily, because guess what? Iberia's customer service number, also 9 to 6. Incredible. So finally I get Iberia to reply on Twitter and give me a phone number that I could call 24 hours. So I call and they tell me, this was like 10 p.m., right? Like 4 hours later. And Iberia tells me, oh, well, in our system, the flight still shows up as active. So I'm like, okay. So I suggest that you just show up at the airport and they'll get you settled then. We have the internet. We have technology. Everything flies and every, data can be transmitted at a very, very fast speed. Yet somehow, 4 hours later, they still didn't know that their partner airline had canceled our flight. So what do? I just make my peace with it. I go to bed, and then at 9 a.m. I call the other the other freaking customer service number that only functions at from 9 to 6. Finally, they tell me, oh yeah, you're right, flight's been canceled. We'll put you on another flight. Thank you. The British Airways flight was canceled. They put me on another flight. Unfortunately, the other flight is with Iberia. And I'll tell you something, I don't like Iberia. I think they're one of the worst airlines ever. Actually, Iberia, back in 2008, they lost my luggage and it was never ever found again. And in 2008, you can imagine 10 years ago, I wasn't traveling this much. So it was a very traumatic experience. I was bringing a lot of, souvenirs and stuff in the bag that meant a lot to me. And, I didn't have that much money, so I couldn't just buy all those things again. They had emotional value. Anyway, they gave me 1,000 euros for my entire big luggage. So yeah, since then, never been a fan of Iberia. And not only that, the service on board is really not good. You would have to really speak Spanish though to understand what I'm saying, because they are a Spanish airline. Anyway, after a little moment, I asked the girl after she books my new flight, which is going to be tomorrow. Well, our new flight. Thomas is coming with me. So now we're leaving tomorrow morning, 11:45 a.m. So we go, instead of going through London to Prague, we're going through Madrid and then Prague. So anyway, now we're on this plane with this bad airline. So I tell him, listen, since the cancellation was, less than 24-hour notice and the delay represents way more than 3 hours, because I know that if it's more than 3 hours they have to compensate you. So I asked them, do I get a compensation? And they say yes, but you have to call British Airways, they'll take care of the compensation, we took care of rebooking your flight. I'm like, okay, I wish they would just make it more easy for us, but they won't. So then I go back to Twitter and I tweet British Airways and I ask them, I would like a compensation because you made me lose a day in Prague. I know, sounds like a first world problem, but it's not fun, you know. In any case, this kind of thing shouldn't happen at any level, especially without an explanation. Do you think we got a reason why the flight was canceled? Like, no reason. It was like an email saying, your flight was canceled, we're so sorry for the inconvenience. So anyway, they tell me, yes, of course, we'll call you today. We have created, you know, a ticket in our customer service, and they still haven't called. And it's been the whole day, and they even had the nerve to tell me that my case was a priority, was a high priority. Hi Carolina, your case is on our priority queue, we'll be in touch, blah 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 blah. And this was 2 hours ago that I was told I was in the priority queue. Bottom line is, I hope they'll compensate me. They should compensate us, you know, with money or a voucher or something, right? But in reality, I mean, it's not the money right now that I care about, it's just the fact, and this is pretty much the lesson, I guess. There are two lessons, two morals of this story. First moral, try to remain calm when this kind of thing happens. Stay calm! Don't get too angry. I got a little bit upset, but I didn't let it anger me, because anger is a very strong negative emotion. Didn't want to let it take over me, so I tried not to dwell on it and just think, okay, well, whatever. Actually, I still had so much packing and so many things to do on the computer before I could fly. So in a way, it was like I was a little bit relieved that I didn't have to fly today, because I still have so much work. So that's on one hand. Always try to remain in a beautiful state, no matter what circumstances hit you in your life. Because no matter what, anger and all those negative emotions are not going to get you anywhere. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to, you know, stand up for your rights, right? So that's the second moral of the story. You know, when people step on you and do things that you believe are not fair to you, step up, you know, step up for yourself, for your rights. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Whether they give me money or not, well, we'll see how they will compensate us. But at the end of the day, I want them to understand that you just don't do this to people and walk away. You know, that's it, we can cancel the flight. We don't have to compensate anyone. So really, that's it. You know, stand up for your rights. Things happen, and I wanted to share that little story just so you know how to handle these things and be informed of your rights as a consumer. It's very important. I immediately, you know, Googled what my rights were. I know that certain delays are okay for airlines, and also when they notify you of a cancellation with enough notice, it's also okay. But this was not okay. It was not cool at all. So guys, even big companies, even huge companies like Iberia and British Airways, you know, these are huge companies, they still have value chain issues where somebody breaks the value chain, whether it's a customer service representative, whether it's a Twitter representative. In this case, those people were fine. Like the people I communicated with on Twitter, they were fine, they were okay, they were polite with me, they understood my little frustration that I had. But still, the fact that 4 hours later Iberia had no idea that the flight was canceled, and they actually told me to just show up at the airport, you know, good thing I just called again in the morning. That's that. Anyway, as you can see, I got my bag almost fully packed, working on 2 screens because, man, I have so much to do. I actually have to record 2 podcast episodes before tonight. I also have to record a tutorial for my Spanish assistant, my new Spanish assistant. She agreed to work for me like a month and a half ago, and I still don't send her the things I promised I would send her. Then I had to place an ad because my dear video editor won't have time to work for me anymore, which really saddens me. I hope you're watching this. I think you will be watching this video because you edit them. I'm very angry at you. No, I'm not angry. I'm just sad. So I had to post an ad on Upwork to find a new video editor. By the way, if you're watching this and you love my videos and you think you can help, if you think you can do a better job than this other guy who's leaving me, then by all means leave me a message here below and share maybe some examples of things you have edited. I already have quite a few candidates, to be honest, so perhaps by the time you watch this video it might be a little late to apply, but hey, you never know, I might, you know, need more than one person I really don't know how that's gonna be. So anyway guys, tomorrow, in tomorrow's episode, I will be reporting our flight. Okay, it's a day flight. Of course, we have a 6-hour difference with Europe. So even though we're leaving around noon tomorrow, it's already gonna be 6 p.m. in Europe. So really it's gonna be dark the whole day. Well, not the whole day, but as we start getting to the Atlantic Ocean, it's gonna get darker and darker. So I don't know how much I can share, and actually the ocean is just, you know, an ocean. So I don't know what tomorrow's vlog is gonna go like. But either way, if you're new here and you love learning about entrepreneurship, about social media, about building online businesses, about becoming a lifestyle entrepreneur, that's what I do. That's what I share with you in my videos, and of course my podcast as well. So first thing, hit the subscribe button so you can be a member of the Hustle family here on YouTube, and then tap that notifications bell so you never miss a thing, because YouTube just doesn't notify subscribers anymore. So you have to do the double subscribe or double opt-in. And finally, if you want to listen to my podcast, I have interviewed people such as Gary Vaynerchuk, Evan Carmichael, Caleb Maddox, Roberto Blake, John Lee Dumas. Actually, John Lee Dumas episode should be up by the time you watch this video. I hope so. If not, it'll be up soon. I really love talking to other successful entrepreneurs, people who are like light years ahead of me, because I learned so much. But soon I will also be interviewing people who are in the daily grind, people who have big dreams, big goals, and who have made an impact in their own way, and who are hustling for their dreams. So simply go to beyondthehustle.com and you can subscribe to my podcast on a few different platforms. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching this boring update vlog, and I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe in Prague.